Hey there folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X-2. I'm the Mysterious JG, and I have gotten us four separate, I even checked to make sure, four separate save slots, each of them going to give us the four solutions to the Mihen High Road mystery that we did not already see in Act 5 when we saw it play out with Rikku as the unwitting culprit. So, I vaguely mentioned in the last video, I did talk to people in a different sequence, got some non-voice acted dialogue, you know, like Buddy and Pain. If you talk to them before you talk to Rikku twice, or the second time you talk to Rikku, she moves to standing near Shinra. If you talk to her when she's over there, it advances the plot. If you talk to Buddy before that, Pain before that, they both say non-voice acted things about, boys, sure seems the crowd is getting restless, that sort of thing, nothing huge. And I did double check and realized that yes, in fact, we went and talked to LeBlanc and her gang in the engine room before they could burst into the bridge on the initial playthrough, because that's how you get a key item that we needed that I don't care about on the second playthrough. So that we already did. You can go back and see that if you want to. So what I'm going to do with these Mihen High Road mysteries is I'm going to show the endings in reverse order of the order in which we got them, which might seem a little weird, but if you remember the last one we did, every time Callie showed up, we would call Rin. So, it's going to be awfully shocking. Where could that possibly be pointing as far as the suspect goes? But wherever it points, we'll see it now. But yeah, no, literally every time Callie appeared on screen, we would call Rin and discuss clues. Clues. You guys see anything interesting? No? This is just your generic Act 5 dialogue. So we will go to the Mihen High Road. Will we finally get to the bottom of this mystery? Don't miss the thrilling conclusion. Go wings. And once again, these fiends here are considered hard because Yuna and the gang are at levels 2 and 3, basically. Our proprietor Ren is presenting the results of his investigation of the High Road's troubles of late. Would you mind a copy to the travel agency? Not at all. Then you talk to her, she says, welcome to the travel agency. Rin is waiting outside. You don't need to talk to her, you can just go outside, but... trigger this scene.
I am glad you are all here. I would like to talk about the recent string of incidents occurring on the high road.
All of the suspects, plus random bondage woman and Youth League looking guy. Off to the right screen. First, let us discuss the circumstances surrounding the hover crash. It seems that not everyone wants Machina around. Someone has been trying to destroy the High Road's Machina, starting with that hover. Hovers are built to be light. Even a child could move one with only a push. He's gradually turning into Dracula again. One could easily flag down the pilot, and then quickly push the hover off a cliff once it came to a halt. Oh, hey, got a close-up Cal at the end there. What the? Which reminds me, marks found on the new road indicate something fell into the ravine below. And it appears someone attempted to cover up those marks. Mark Henry. Now let us consider the runaway drone Machina. But then, again, perhaps runaway is not the best word. Machina don't just run amok on their own, now do they? Pain! You did it, didn't you, Pain? Why are you looking at me? My investigation has revealed that the drone Machina did not malfunction. Rather, they were programmed to grow violent. Our culprit clearly wanted people to fear Machina. That is why he or she tampered with their operation. By playing on people's uneasiness, the guilty party hoped to purge the High Road of Machina altogether. The Machina can only be configured for operation through a control panel behind the agents. One of my Albed assistants mentioned explaining the control panel's operation to a certain inquiring person. I've since had that assistant killed. It appears that inquiring person might have passed the operating instructions on to another inquiring person. Isn't that right? You shared what you learned with someone else. And she's like, oh. Basically, I'm not blaming the girl with the pigtails. I would like to call a witness. This is the pilot of the crashed hover. He does not have a voice actor, so be careful. Because, I mean, it's not trustworthy. Surely you saw the one who pushed the hover off the new road? I see. He is nodding his head in a pattern that indicates information. Just as I thought. He's waving his hands around in celebration as his witness flees the scene, apparently having whispered something to Rin, who gets to decide whether or not to pass it on accurately.
It just so happens that during the investigation, a chocobo feather was found near the broken hover. I have deduced that whoever owns this feather must hold the key to solving our mystery.
Now, how exactly did you deduce that?
The feather has already been returned to its owner. That's right. It was you, Callie.
It was me, Austin! It was me all along!
I'm the one who did it.
I'm the one who owns a feather.
I thought if Machina were gone, chocobos might return to the high road.
Kill her! Kill her!
First you knocked over the hover, then you sabotaged the other Machina. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yes, but my plan worked a little too well. I didn't mean to cause such a mess.
Put on a shirt.
I got so scared. I was afraid to tell anyone about it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I can understand your love for chocobos.
I love chocobos with barbecue sauce.
Have you ever considered how the chocobos feel?
They feel pretty good.
What?
You are correct in assuming that chocobos would once again be needed if Machina were gone. They would be used in place of the hovers. But do you think chocobos enjoy being used?
Some chocobos want to be used by you.
You, of all people, should know
Sweet
better.
dreams are made of these. Who has a mind to disagree?
Now then, everyone.
Let us enslave some chocobos.
She does seem to be repentant, but certainly some sort of punishment is in order.
He makes that sound so kinky.
How shall we have her atone for her crimes?
Sexy spankings. Do you think the Machina liked being used, Rin, you jerk? Enslaving machines. Oh, she really likes that guy. She waited for him to turn his back before she waved.
So, all they're making her do is work at the agency.
I voted for the death penalty.
She said she's sorry. Isn't that enough?
No, it's not enough.
At any rate, we at the travel agency are quite grateful for
Okay,
that.
I'm not sure how much damage her prank is meant to have
Don't be a
caused,
slave driver, you hear?
but I'm into that.
But I have so much for her to do. In fact, I've prepared a new job just for her.
Spanking Queen.
I will have her take care of all our chocobos.
Since I'm not bringing back Machina,
Are
even
you
though I now
punishing
know
her
that they work
or
fine.
Rewarding her.
As long as they're not sabotaged. So, she's taking care of all the chocobos, but they've only got one, so... And again, are you punishing her or rewarding her works into, like, I'd gotten this whole weird sex thing in my head now, listening to Rin and his goofy outfits, and now punishing or rewarding. Ooh, there is a blurred line. So, anyway, that's that done. We've seen what happens when you, I almost said finger Callie. When you, I mean, you could use that in this context, but let's avoid that since it's already been pretty foul. That's what happens when you, blame Callie. I guess hurting Callie was never an option, was it? Oh, Pain, you were fucked up. Oh. I guess in the end, Rin and Callie both made out good, huh? Oh man, did they make out after their punishment session? Alright, so... let's move away from that. And the second to last one that we did, as you'll recall, the only semi-unique clues involved watching that chocobo eater, that little chocobo eater guy chasing around a spiragull, because I remember complaining that you don't call seagulls Earth gulls when they're from planet Earth. And it was chasing around a hover, trying to eat a hover, etc. I imagine if we say no to this, we can still go come to this place and then you guys, I'm sorry, that's not for sale. Oh, actually. She counted thunder planes the other day. I must not get out enough because the journey really tuckered me out. I think we live in a time where there's no need to fear Machina, but still, I wonder what heard it from. You know, I just put on the biggest concert in the history of Spira. You have nothing to say to me about that? Okay. He's got the place surrounded with hovers, like, to prevent escape.
I would like to talk about the recent string of incidents occurring on the high road.
Okay. And also that guy is here. First, let us discuss the circumstances surrounding the hover crash. It seems that not everyone wants Machina around. Someone's been trying to destroy the high road's Machina, starting with that hover. He does have the hovers, like, circling the place like they're tanks about to attack. Investigations of the new road yielded a vital clue. Marks were found suggesting that something fell into the ravine below. As you have no doubt realized, someone or something pushed the hover off the road. Additional marks are found on the hover indicating it had been struck. In other words, the hover was attacked with extraordinary force and knocked into the ravine. Yeah, nothing about the hover being so light that even a child could push it over, which is another piece of Poirot evidence. And also, the idea that Callie pushed the hover over is just stupid. Now let us consider the runaway drone Machina. But then again, perhaps runaway is not the best word. The Machina don't run amok on their own now, do they? My investigation has revealed that the drone Machina did not malfunction, rather the program took off violent. Of course, it may have all been the result of pure coincidence. Perhaps the guilty party immediately fiddled with the drone Machina's control panel after seeing someone else do the same. I am convinced that this is exactly how it all happened. I would like to call a witness. This is the pilot of the crashed hover. Surely you saw the one who pushed the hover off the new road? Yeah, but I'm afraid to say who it was because she's right there and she's got the hand resting. She's got the one arm resting in the other hand and then the other hand propping her chin thing. And Callie is terrifying. I'm afraid you've got to kill him witness protection, man. I see. Just as I thought. So simply asking that guy who done it is the solution in all cases.
It is clear our guilty party wanted to rid the high road of its
5-pound
Machina.
potty. Somebody had a big
Lady
breakfast.
Yuna, what do you think would happen if the high road no longer had any Machina?
Oh, and when I was checking these, I went with that would be dreamy, and he said, yes, I suppose some would see it that way. But it would also be inconvenient. We would probably need, yeah. I think he says roughly the same thing anyway. We'd probably need chocobos instead.
That is correct. Travelers would use chocobos instead of hovers. It all boils down to this. The culprit's objective, obviously, was to bring chocobos back
So
to the high
saucy
road.
looking with his arms crossed.
I recently witnessed a certain party chasing after a gull.
A certain potty?
This was no playful pursuit, but rather a sincere hunt for food by a starving creature.
Prophet's assistant.
Hungry, it tried to devour its prey. It, of course, meaning that fiend which craves chocobos.
They're chocoricious!
With
Both
its
of its
main
tongues hunger
course
for chocobos.
gone from the high road, the creature instinctively knew. Machina are responsible. Destroy them, and the chocobos will return.
Now that's a bit of a stretch.
And that is when it used its formidable strength to topple the hover. Further, when it discovered the Machina's control panel, it somehow pressed the right buttons to cause the Machina to go haywire.
Seriously?
This fiend
No,
is
Eunice
truly
doing
an
this is a bunch of
impressive
bullshit
creature.
pose.
It has managed to thoroughly disrupt our daily affairs, even if it was just pure luck. Fiend or not, I admire it greatly for its tenacious pursuit of its goals.
I will support it in the forthcoming general
In
election.
honor of that tenacity, I will use the resources available to me to return
You can
chocobos
cheer
to
now.
the high road.
and I will feed them to this thing.
Farewell, my friend.
You're going to jail. You're gonna go to jail. You
The
belong in jail.
chocobos deserve to live without fear of being devoured.
Well, then why are you bringing them back if it's to honor this thing, which you're not going to let eat them? Chocobo eater, in jail. Next, we have to go after Carmen Sandiego,
Well,
the Chocobo
Lady
eater's
Ina,
boss.
is it not pleasant to be rocked back and forth astride a chocobo?
If not, you're not doing it right.
Chocobos seem happier with that fiend finally gone.
So, what are you gonna do with it?
But what?
Winya padan ufa chagufek.
Oh, you're gonna put it in your sex dungeon.
So, a happy ending for everyone. Unless you're a fiend.
In which case, you don't deserve happiness.
Anywho, let's get back to the airship.
This is really getting kind of boring.
Wow, look at her go.
Wait!
Are those weird bow sleeves Rikku have even connect? Oh, I guess they are. She just has them. It is like a single piece of cloth that's been tied off in several places. Oh, okay, well. That's a shame. You know, as a pretty girl, I guess that's come to an end now as her face has been majorly disfigured. From now on, you can ride chocobos on the Mia and I Road. Talk to the Hub Attendant for more information. So, you know, that was worth the 30 minutes it took me to play through Act 4, I guess, again. It's just a cute little ending. You know, there are ones to give you better rewards. The Rikku one gives you the best in-game rewards. So how did it feel to ride a psychotic chocobo? I don't know, how did it feel to ride psychotic Nuge? Yeah, that's right, I know what you and Nuge have been up to before you met LeBlanc. Beauty, you alright? It looked and sounded like it really hurt. Thanks for reminding me, Rikku. Alright. And I guess we'll just do them all in one video together. I'll check and see how long this video is before I make that decision. So far. Yeah, okay, it'll be a little on the long side. But that's okay. Because we're a little more than halfway through. And we've done 2 of the 3. Don't know how much blathering I did up front. We'll probably have roughly a full-length video here. So now we're doing the third to last one. Tended to involve us calling out for... there's 2 other, like, you know, people who we would, if we noticed them, we would call her in for help. Or to investigate clues. Because it's hard to really differentiate between them. Callie's one was very different from the others because Callie kept showing up. But some of these, like the girl with the pigtails looking at the panel, and that prophet guy talking to Chocobo Eater, they both happen in multiple ones. So. I wonder how it's going to resolve this time.
I am glad you are all here.
I'm glad you're happy.
I would like
I'm
to talk
happy you're
about
glad.
the recent string of incidents occurring on the high road.
Incidents. I'm still here. First, let us discuss the circumstances. It seems not everyone wants Machina around. Someone's been trying to destroy Machina. However, it's built to be light. Even a child could move one with only a push, but it would be ridiculous for it to be Callie. I mean, that would just be stupid. One could easily flag down the pilot and then quickly push the hopper off a cliff once it came to a halt. This time we didn't zoom in on Callie. Which reminds me, marks found on the new road indicate something fell into the ravine below. Remember back when he was just the guy talking to Titus about the Albed language and not, like, Hercule Poirot? Now let us consider the runaway drone Machina. But then again, perhaps runaway is not the best word. Hey, don't look at me so... Don't get up in my face like that, you weirdo! Yeah, every so often, the camera gives us a reason to look at Payne's outfit, and you realize that she's not wearing much either. None of the Gullwings are wearing that much clothing. programmed to turn violent. Our culprit clearly wanted people to fear Machina. That is why he or she tampered with their operation. By playing on people's uneasiness, the guilty party hoped to purge the high road of Machina altogether. Oh, he's looking at Pigtail Girl again, but she's much more ashamed this time. Machina can only be configured for operation through a control panel behind the agents. Our Machina hater probably talked Al Bhed into explaining how the control panel works. Perhaps exchanging sexual favors. I know that's how I'd have done it. I would like to call a witness. Can I get a witness? Ooh, it's a different witness from before. He says he is the one who leaked the operating instructions. You know, an Al Bhed team is like a baseball team. All have to be on the same side, and then he pulls out a baseball bat and starts bashing this guy's brains in from behind while everyone else looks on in horror. Someone told him they wanted to learn about Machina, and eventually he just gave in to her sexual wiles. There is still more testimony to be heard. Oh, now we're talking to... Okay, these guys are new. These two saw who pushed the hover into the ravine. They were paid to keep silent. Those guys were like... Weren't they the guys who sit and face each other at the like extreme far end of the old road and were not really that close to where it happened? The silence brought with guilt is just as easily broken with guilt. I do, however, insist in the name of integrity that they return their bribe to keep silent. So tell me, who pushed the hover into the ravine? I see. Your shrugs speak volumes. There is still more testimony to be heard. This time we're really gonna screw with somebody. This is the pilot of the crashed hover. Surely you saw the one who pushed the hover off the new road, but did the other guys already act as witnesses? Why did we just get a close-up of that NPC's boob? Her left boob? I see. Just as I thought. They gave conflicting answers, but I won't reveal that to you. There's a reason I had to whisper the answer to me rather than stating it loud.
Regarding the person who pushed the hover off the new road,
Same as the old road.
sabotaged the Machina after tricking the Al Bhed operator into explaining how they work,
With sexiness.
there is only one thing left to say.
No. Whoa.
That's right, like it was me!
It's Shaggy.
And I would have gotten away with it too, if it hadn't been for you meddling kids!
Oh, it really is supposed to be a reference to Scooby-Doo.
Well. I see we have
Joel
new
Gertner.
testimony. What I was going to
Oh, he's like
say
laughing uncontrollably at the guy holding a
was
gun in
that
his
there
face?
is no conclusive evidence pointing to you. None at all.
He looks so sassy there.
Like no fair!
Man.
Fair? Do you think what you did was fair?
Sure.
You and your partner have been working underground to bring chocobos back to the high road.
Riku,
But
what is she
everyone
doing?
else greatly preferred the modern convenience of Machina.
That's not quite
In
true.
order to scare them back into using chocobos, you programmed the Machina to run amok.
I'm
What
gonna
else
kill
can
you.
call that?
I have a gun.
Unfair.
Shut up!
Oh, Rin did
Zoinks!
action badass.
We
Zoinks.
Al Bhed are accustomed to having guns pointed at us, you see.
Which
I
makes
must
us
think of a
immune.
suitable reward for your efforts.
Death.
For two people
Too
who hate
good
Machina,
for you,
it will be an
Zack
excruciating
Rouse
yet
Tower.
fitting punishment.
But he likes Machina. He was ready to use one to kill you. And she still doesn't get to talk, because if she did,
The
she'd talk like
safety of
Velma.
hovers is where it's at! Hovers will get you there in no time flat!
Excruciating is right.
They must be hating every minute of this. Advertising something they're against?
Eh.
Lady Yuna, thank you for your help in the investigation. I would like to reward you.
Here's a free coupon for a trip to my sex dungeon.
But Rin, you're the one who figured everything out.
I didn't really do much of anything.
Hovers are happy! Hovers are fun! We've got a hover for everyone!
Hover on this. Then he starts shooting people with the gun he had, because he's clearly a raving psycho.
Is it just me, or are they enjoying this?
Well, he is. She doesn't really seem to have any reaction. Whoa, what was that little... like it just zooms in, like you know. It should have said like produced by Aaron Sorkin or something at the end. Okay, so you get no reward whatsoever for that ending. The End Hubbard and Chocobos are both okay in their book. I wish people stop blaming all the world's problems on Machina. You know, it's occurring to me now, we haven't actually gone back to the Mihen High Road to check and see what's going on after... Well, things were hairy on the high road for a while, but the trouble's over for now. So let's go to the Mushroom Rock Road, which is... No, there's a chance we'll get sucked into a cinematic. I just want to quick see if anything is actually happening here now. Oh, we got a long way to go to do that. We can't even hire Chocobos. That's right, that's like the... Every single possible outcome has a reward except this one. Which you don't even get, you don't even get to ride Chocobos. Not that riding Chocobos is any kind of big fucking deal that you should possibly care about, but, screw it, I don't care about this. Fuck, we didn't do it with any of the others, we're not doing it for this one either. So we're gonna go jumping into the last of these, which was kind of the strange one where, we kept calling Rin when we didn't have any clues, and finally at the end, Shinra said, or like, someone destroyed the Comsphere, and we thought we saw Rin doing something to a Comsphere, and basically the whole thing just kind of petered out with us not sure what was going on. So we'll check this ending out. It's the final ending that we had, the only one we haven't seen. And I guess from here we'll save, and it'll be our new, actual real ending. Not at all. Okay, so we normally would have everybody gathered. They all pretty much worked that way. But not this time. We just got Ren and a Chocobo.
This Chocobo was being employed to power a ferry boat, so I purchased him.
I'm going to eat him later.
What did you find out about the Machina incidents?
What incidents?
I have deduced that both the hover incident and the
See,
malfunction
she's got
of
lace
Machina
on her
drones
outfit just
were
like him, but
accidents.
she's a girl.
And what caused these accidents?
Oh,
I am trying to clear that
lose
matter
control
up.
of your pals.
I
You
asked
drink
my
too much.
assistants to inspect our Machina some time ago.
An inspection? I had heard that it was an experiment to synchronize the Machina.
2 different events, maybe?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yes,
the most
while
ominous
performing
music in the
maintenance
world
to keep
playing.
the Machina under control, we also experimented with upgrading them.
But you still
I'm not actually
control them.
suspicious.
True, but
How about this?
To get better?
The modified Machina that went haywire might have been what attacked the hover. What's more, synchronized Machina always act in unison. One malfunction could have triggered a similar effect in all the High Road's Machina.
Making it a really dumb idea to synchronize
Something
them.
strange happened while we were investigating.
Who are you going to call?
Someone
Ghostbusters?
cut off our comsphere.
No, we couldn't have female Ghostbusters. That would be ridiculous.
it broke.
No, it was broken. We could see the culprit through a separate comsphere.
Well, then why are you pretending you don't know it was me?
Rin, it was you.
It was you all along, Austin.
That's when I realized. You never intended to catch the culprit.
I can catch myself, no problem.
When I think about it, I've seen you on the high road a number of times now.
Well, I live here.
Once before the Machina started acting strange,
think of
and
you
then
like
again
a
after the incident was over. But before I could talk to you, you vanished, as if you didn't want to be seen.
I didn't want to talk to you.
When the hover was destroyed, you knew the upgraded Machina were behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when you tried to investigate, they all rebelled at once. So, you went around dismantling the rogue Machina. Yes, while we were busy fighting them.
Well, no, there was 2 groups
Then,
fighting them. One
You
of them was
slipped
Al
away
Bed because
just
they were...
as everything was settling down. I am right, aren't I?
Well, sort of.
You are suggesting that my decision to
Wait a second. Oh, I'll let him finish the line.
upgrade the Machina resulted in a number of casualties.
Okay, so the direction we're heading in is that a bunch of people got killed. So it's a really big deal if Rin was responsible. And that's why the most ominous music ever is playing. However, nobody suggests that there was a number of casualties as a result when Callie was the one responsible. Callie, it does seem like she regrets what happened. We should be nice to her. No, a number of people were killed.
And that I tried to cover it up.
You put the investigation in our hands because we were amateurs. You hoped we would botch the case.
You didn't know we'd have a FAQ.
And then I kept calling you, even though I didn't have any leads.
I was so lonely, Rin.
You would have objected to the meaningless interruptions if you really wanted to solve the
Well,
case.
maybe I like talking to the most famous woman in Spira.
I see. It appears I have underestimated you, Yuna.
Foolish, considering you saved the world from a
really?
giant monster.
If word got out that Machina pose a danger, people would fear them and stop using them.
Instead, I will make them fear children.
So Yevon's not alone in sweeping things under the rug.
Hey, it's not a hairpiece. It's my real hair.
I firmly believe that Machina are an indispensable part of Spira's development. Even if there is another incident, I intend to conceal the evidence.
I'm that evil.
You really think people will follow you that way?
I am not alone in my thinking. We are researching ways to extract the vast energy that sleeps in Spira and use it to power Machina.
Fossil fuels?
You're a jackass.
I will take that as a compliment.
I am one of the stars of Jack. What, is he 8 feet tall? So we scored the key item, Gipple's Sphere. Now you can ride chocobos free of charge with me on High Road, because this chocobo heard everything, and he's like, you know what, I'm on your side. That Ren guy's an asshole. So, your big differences between the different ways you can resolve it. Rikku gives you mission complete, which is required to get, like, episode complete, which is required to get the mascot dress sphere. Unless you get one through Creature Creator like I did, so I ended up with 2, because getting episode complete in every area, which generally involves doing all the side, like most of the major side quests throughout the plot. So you don't get that for a couple of these endings we did. It seems like you get it for Callie and you get it for Rikku. You just get chocobos on the high road if you do Callie or Rin or Rikku, everybody except Prophet. And then for Prophet, you don't get any reward. Rikku gave you key item, it gives you regular item Ragnarok, which is a very powerful accessory, which gives you MP cost of 0 for skills. But then this key item Gipple Sphere, can only be gotten by blaming Rin, who's the hardest one to blame, and your in-game, like your useful in-game combat type rewards are more limited. So it's kind of like something you don't necessarily want to do on the first run, but you maybe want to do on a second run, because it is just kind of, it's something to look at that gives you plot background. But it's plot background on kind of an optional plot. Like, unless you get this, there's no indication ever that there's anything wrong with Rin. So maybe, vaguely, in a sequel, there would have been a storyline where Rin was a bad guy, but it would have been based on something that's entirely optional content in this game. It's hard to say. Also, there's a lot of people who think, there's another cinema, which I don't know that we ever got, where Shinra talks about researching the power at the core of Spira. And considering Shinra's name is Shinra, and Shinra is the kind of evil organization in Final Fantasy VII that's like drilling a... I don't remember the plot of Final Fantasy VII that well. I'm not somebody who's played it like 30 times. But, yeah, Shinra is an evil organization that's involved with exploiting the resources of the planet in that game. So there's some people who've decided that, it's an indication that Final Fantasy X is set in the same world as Final Fantasy VII, but far in the past, or whatever. If Ren really plans to change the world, we might find ourselves on opposing teams someday. What's got into Ren? Did he eat something weird? Yeah, he ate something weird. So that's it, and I'm pretty sure we can never find Rin again to talk to him. So that's a thing.
My last wish would...
So if we go to the treasure spheres, we can now watch the Gipple sphere, which is called Jackasses. The date and details of this recording are unknown. Play this sphere, yes.
Just got a transmission. Apparently the Guado are conducting a manhunt nearby.
You mean a woman hunt?
Orders are to locate the Sumner Yuna and kill her guardians.
Oh It's him! Don't ask him a direct
You
question.
want to lay low for a bit?
No, you ask him a direct question, he's gonna laugh at you.
No, I just don't want you stirring them up. The temples are after me, too.
Then I apologize in advance.
You're fighting? I see. I'm tired of running from Yevon myself, and I have thought about fighting.
The entire Yevon army?
I'd probably look like a jackass if I even suggested it.
Only a jackass can change the world.
Only the MTV show
come on.
Jackass can change the world.
Es kukiku belgi vekker verder Yevon. You sec?
Jackass.
Unidentified
Okay.
jackass. So there you go. Totally optional little bit of and they did this again. I think we saw the one with Barreleye, didn't we? Where Barreleye joins in with Seymour Guado. Just their little efforts to make these characters that were only introduced for Final Fantasy X-2. They do want us to have the sense that they were alive during the events of Final Fantasy X, and they fit in somewhere. So Pain mentions to Yuna how she's, I actually sung the Hymn of the Faith along with everybody else, and it was pretty cool. We find out, I forget what Nuge was up to, but we find out that that Barreleye was under the protection of Seymour Guado to stay away from the temples, and that now we're finding out that Gipple bumped into Auron in the desert during that brief moment in Final Fantasy X where your party's all split up. And was like, hey, check it out, the Guado are up to some bad shit. But anyway, okay, bye-bye. Let's use the word jackass. And that was pretty much it. So there you go, I just saved on a new slot. When we come back, well, it's Chapter 5. So we could pretty much finish the game at any old time. And finish our second playthrough and see the good ending. There's one thing that I'm slightly worried about, is that there is I guess there was the normal ending was the one we saw, where Yuna flies around in her airship and talks about how she is going to continue to grow and change and be a, modern woman or whatever. And then there's the good ending and the perfect ending. Perfect ending is just a good ending with an additional cutscene. But there's also a bad ending, which I kind of forgot about, and that involves us intentionally losing the boss battle against Vegnagun. And there's like a brief, I don't think it's a full-fledged ending, but there is like a cinematic that we can see. So I'm a little concerned about that, because if I use our powered-up monster party, they won't be able to lose. And if I try to have the Gullwings fight, I don't know if they'll be able to win the battles leading up to that battle. So I have to figure out how we're going to work that. But in the meantime, bear in mind, in our second playthrough, I was trying to show how quickly we could win the game, but I got caught up with doing the Mi'ihen High Road stuff and a little bit of Mushroom Rock Road stuff. So you can cut like one video or so per act up until now. But I think we should check out all the locations in Chapter 5 to see how they were impacted by the fact that we ignored all these subquests. So what would happen if we went to visit Kamari now that the Ronso were not stopped from attacking the Guado? There's not that many. That to me is like the biggest world-changing thing that we didn't get involved with. We never went and rescued anybody at the Calm Lands. I don't think that'll lead to interesting stuff, but we probably are going to have a couple videos of dicking around before we bring this LP home. So I hope you stick around for that. I'm the Serious GG. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with more Final Fantasy X-2 second playthrough.